Hi everyone, I'm Jason Crandell, and yes, the title of this video is Don't Check Your Ego at the Door. And I want to first say that I want to first acknowledge that I think the sentiment of checking one's ego at the door is a really important sentiment that is taught by very skillful mindful teachers, and the sentiment helps a lot of people. But I want us to think through it and consider this in a slightly different way. First, from my yoga practice and from my yoga teaching, I want to just be really boldly honest and say, my ego, no matter how many times I have tried to check it at the door, finds some sort of way to sneak in and come back. Okay, so no matter how many times I try and check the ego at the door, it follows me to my sticky mat. And the reason is the ego is actually in well-balanced order, an indivisible, right, an indivisible part of our brain and our mind and our human psychology. So what I think that we should recognize is that ego is one of the most raw and rugged and sensitive and integral aspects of the self. What we want to do, I think, is instead of checking our ego at the door, is invite our ego to come with us so that we can see it, so that we can understand it, so that we can have a relationship to it. It doesn't mean that I'm encouraging you to do egotistical movement or aggressive movement, but what I want to say is, if you acknowledge that you have ego, and then it's raw, and then it's rugged, and it's often very insecure, and it has a way of appropriating almost everything, if we actually acknowledge this part of the self, we might be able to have a working relationship with it instead of trying to cut it off and bypass it for a short period of time. So I want to recommend again that when you do your yoga practice, you actually really watch your ego. That's what I'm getting at. Instead of saying, ego, you try and stay out there, you say, no, ego, I want to watch you. I want to see when you come up. I want to do my yoga practice and notice when you arise and have some sort of way to manage your needs and get to know you a little bit better. Another way of streamlining all this, say, is just notice when ego arises. Notice when ego arises. Don't be surprised that ego arises, because I'm going to tell you it's going to arise and it's going to continue to arise. So notice when ego arises in all of its forms and practice seeing and witnessing its existence so that you have a functional, honest way to work with who you are. Okay? Hopefully this will, if nothing else, this will give you some thing to chomp on and to consider, and to have either you agree or you get to have a nice internal dialogue and discussion about your feeling about this. Okay? Thank you. Take care of yourself.